James is also opening up about one of his constant fears, and that's of getting fired from his late night show. But he also opened up to Drew Barrymore about learning to enjoy the moment.
When we moved here, my wife and I, we had 2 kids at that point, and I wouldn't allow us to buy furniture. We rented all of our furniture because I said to my wife, Julia, I said, I'm going to get fired. This won't work.
Oh
And as soon as we get fired, we'll just want to get back to London. So we don't want to be lumbered with a couch. And I did that for 2 years. And then eventually my wife was like, please, can we buy some furniture? And I was like, okay, I think we're safe to buy furniture now. But yeah, but that's been every day of my adult life, really. I've thought I'm going to get fired at some point.
You know, they go on to say that it really is like a comedic mechanism of being afraid that what you're living in and your dreams could just go away in 1 second. Is that something you could relate to, Cass? This like imposter syndrome?
It's, I will say it's very interesting to hear someone like James Corden, who you think, is this famous comedian, has his own show, and even he deals with, the kind of those insecurities that I feel like we all face at some point in our lives. And to be honest, I feel like a lot of it has to do with the industry that James is in and that we're in. It's an industry where kind of everyone is replaceable, or at least that's kind of how
Mhm.
we're made to believe, and it's like this recycled, replaceable feeling that sometimes you get, that you aren't good enough, and that there are thousands of people who want the job that you have. So it does take some time to feel secure, and it is normal to feel imposter syndrome sometimes, I feel like, but it's at the end of the day how you overcome that, and how confident you are in your talents, and knowing that you are in that place, in that point in your life for a reason, and you are
Right.
meant to be that person, to offer your skills, to offer your personality, to offer the gifts that you were blessed with. And I feel like if you keep that in mind in those dark times, I feel like that's something that can help you through. But what about you, Dan?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I have been lucky enough to be part of the ET family I literally just celebrated my 10-year work
Yes.
anniversary. And I can't tell you if I've ever felt secure throughout those 10 years, mainly because, like you put it so beautifully, that this is a job that there's a lot of people who want it, and
Right.
anyone could be quick to replace you. But I find that to be a good thing. Like it keeps that
Mhm.
fire burning, it keeps your
Totally.
work ethic really, really strong and the passion too. Because if you're not enjoying what you're doing anymore, then what's the point?
Mhm.
But I think it's also all about balance. It's like checking yourself and making sure that you are still fighting for your dream, right? But
Right.
also being able to take a step back and like reflect and be like, well, you're doing it though, enjoying it,
Mhm.
and that's something that I've learned to balance out a little bit better. I can't say that I'm 100%. I don't think that I'm like, oh, I'm sitting pretty. They're never gonna fire me. Like no, that never goes away. But I am
Right.
starting to just reflect a little bit more and
Mhm.
at least give myself a pat on the back for one quick second and then keep working. And that's something that James said he's doing too. He said that he's constantly counting his blessings and that he is starting to check his privilege a lot more now than ever. And he
Mhm.
says like that's one of the effects of the coronavirus is that he's more open to being honest about how he's actually feeling, how
Mhm.
he's doing. Because I don't
Mhm.
think we've ever heard him kind of open up like this
No.
about his insecurities with his job.
And remember too, I feel like this is a really important time to note that not everything that you see on social media is how
Mm,
it appears. And I feel like people constantly compare themselves to other people's lives. And
oh, yeah.
people will say to me, "Oh my God, your photos, your Instagram, girl, you're killing it." But like, it's a reminder that we're all human. We all go through struggles, especially during this pandemic. We're all facing these battles, and it's not always glitz and glam. It's not always photos with Blake Shelton and things like that. There are days where you feel, am I good enough? What's next? This and that, and
Mhm.
it's totally normal. But I feel like right now in our world and in our society, it's become a lot more. Um, it's more of an open space to be honest with your feelings. I've never
Be
heard more
vulnerable.
honesty and vulnerability than now during the pandemic. When you ask someone how they're doing, they will honestly say, listen, like, just lost my job, trying to make it through there, or this or that. And, I feel like we can all connect with each other and hopefully empathize more, and moving forward, when we get to the other side of this, we all remember that it's okay to be honest.
It's so true, and I don't know if you felt this, but I feel
Mhm.
like even because we've been working from home, doing interviews, doing this show from remote for what, over 6 months now, and
Yeah,
every time I talk to someone, it's been less about like how are you holding up because we've kind of adapted to this new normal that we keep talking about, but it's humanized everybody from
right.
celebrities to everyday folk like us. It's just like there's a common denominator now, and I think, or I believe, and I feel that there's a lot more empathy. And so you're right. I hope that's something that really sticks with us because
Mhm.
Lord knows we need it now more than ever.